everyone, am I live yet? Hi Shruti. Okay. I'm great, you guys are already here on time. Kya baat hai? Very good. Very good. Okay. So, everyone ready? Did you all, are you all downloading the PDFs which I'm attaching on our Telegram channel? So that you can revise the one-shots which... Hi Shreya. Hello Gurnoor. Everyone ready? Excellent. Hi Muskan. Hello Aryan. Hi Shruti. Shruti was the first one here, right? Shruti was first to class today. Hi Chandrika. Okay. So, yes, I have called you early today so that we get enough time to complete this super huge chapter. Okay. Hi Avanaganti. Hello. Alright, so yes, today we'll be completing all the most important topics of human health and disease, and I'm sure that yesterday only you all told me that ma'am, let's do immunity properly. So that's exactly what we're going to be starting off with today, the topics of immunity. And do not worry, all of these notes will be provided to you right when the session ends. I'll be posting it on the Telegram channel so you all can get it. Okay. Hi Adya, hello Darshan. Okay, so yes, first of all, I hope that you all have gone and liked the video, and I hope you've shared it with your friends so that they can come too. And the more of us who are there for these revisions, it will be more fun. Alright, hi Chesta, hello Krishna. And yes, please do subscribe to the channel if you've not done so far. And for those of you who are new to this channel today, I introduce you to myself. I'm Dr. Sindur, NEET Zoology expert at Vedantu. And I have been mentoring kids for cracking their NEET exams since over 10 years. I've personally done my BHMS from Dr. D.Y. Patel College in Pune. Alright, so now kids, without any further delay, are you all ready? Are you all ready for this one shot of human health and disease? Everyone ready for that? Yes or no? Quickly. I want this chat box the way you guys keep this chat box lively in the classroom lectures when we're there together. Okay, on our Wave platform. That's how I want this to be. Alright. Chalo guys, so yes, yesterday night I have, I think I was awake just like all of you are most of the days. I was awake till 3 a.m. I was making the notes so that our session today can be conducted even faster, and so that you get a good, you get your hands on a good set of notes of this chapter. So, yes, everyone, let's start. We're going to start not with disease, but we're going to be beginning with immunity, because most of the times I know that when you start this chapter with studying diseases, what happens is you get tired by the time immunity comes. So let's start with immunity and then we will go towards the disease parts. Clear everyone? Yes everyone, clear? Now, what is immunity? What exactly is immunity? Immunity basically is going to be the ability that your body is having to resist any foreign infection. Correct? Ability of your body. Anyways, now you know, ever since you've heard of COVID and everything, everyone has been working on increasing their immunity, right? You know, they were talking about vitamin C, as if people were talking as if vitamin C is like the cure for COVID-19. It's not that vitamin C is the cure for COVID. Vitamin C just helps in boosting your immunity, and that too, na, vitamin C for its effect to actually result, it's gonna take some time. Okay, so basically those whose immune systems are strong would be able to resist, or they would be able to tackle, their body would be able to handle such viruses comparatively better than the others who have a lower immunity, right? So when we talk about immunity, first of all, there is an immunity with which you are born with. Okay, the one which you are born with, okay, that is what we are going to call as innate immunity. Then there is a particular immunity which you are going to acquire throughout your life. Okay, throughout your life there is an immunity which keeps on building. Okay, it keeps on building, and that is what we're calling as acquired immunity. So every time many of you must have fallen sick, you have a cold, you have a cough. So why does it go away from your body? Because your body is handling it, your body is taking care of it and making sure it goes away. So that is what acquired immunity is all about. Let us start with innate immunity. Innate means something that you are born with. Can someone tell me another word, okay, for any sort of thing that you, let's say it's a disease. This is immunity we're talking about. What about a disease if someone is born with it? Present since birth. What is a a scientific word or a zoological term for something that is present since birth? Very good. It's congenital. Over here we're saying that this is an immunity with which you are born with. I'm calling it as innate immunity, or it can also be called as natural immunity. Okay, this is basically made up of barriers. All of these, the innate immunities, are consisting of barriers. The very first barrier is the physical barrier. Physical barrier means some sort of substance which is present, which helps the foreign substance to stay away. Now, you all know that foreign substance is going to be called as an antigen. Antigen is basically the bad guy, and when antigen enters into our body is supposed to create chemicals to fight it off, and those chemicals to fight off antigen will be called as antibody. Okay, so we see here first is physical barriers in innate immunity. Physical barriers are basically consisting of 1, the skin, and 2, the mucous membrane. Skin and mucous membrane, both of these are what we call as the physical barriers, correct? They are not allowing any foreign substance to come inside. You know, you've got mucus, so what does mucus do in your nasal tract? It's going to trap up all the dust particles, any foreign substance, and make sure it doesn't go inside. So it's behaving as a barrier. Second is physiological. Now the word physiological basically means, you can say it means, functioning. The normal functioning of the body is what we call as physiological, right? So what is the physiology which is helping you, kill any germs, kill any antigens that come inside your body? Yes, first is HCl. HCl in the stomach. Then lysozymes. Now kids, lysozymes are not lysosomes. The minute I say lysozymes, you'll all start thinking, ma'am, suicidal bags. No. Lysozymes are basically antibacterials. Okay, they are like enzymes, but they are going to be working against bacteria. They are having the capability to destroy the bacterial cell wall. Where are these lysozymes found? In saliva, tears, and in breast milk. Saliva, tears, and breast milk is where you can find them. Then the third type of barrier is cellular barrier. Third type is cellular barrier. Which are the cells which are going to be providing you with immunity? You know that. Those are your WBCs. But which WBCs? 1. Polymorphonuclear lymphocytes. Polymorphonuclear leukocytes, which are nothing but the neutrophils, right? Neutrophils are the ones which are maximum count in your body. What is the percentage of neutrophils of all the WBCs? 60 to 65%. 60 to 65%, that's how many neutrophils are present. And that's why whenever any foreign substance comes, the very first WBC to reach there is your neutrophil. And that's why they are also called as the soldiers of your immune system, right? Okay, along with that, another WBC which is helping is called as the monocyte, and then the lymphocytes. Now in lymphocytes, there is a type of lymphocyte. We will learn about that today. It's called as natural killer lymphocytes. These are the ones which will go and attack. The name only suggests it's a killer lymphocyte. So it will be able to go and attack any foreign substance. Am I clear? And then the fourth one is what we call as cytokine barriers. Now cytokine barriers are the ones which are interferons. What are interferons? What are interferons? What are interferons? Let's say okay, that there is a virus. Okay, let's say that there is a virus and the virus is now going to attack a cell. The virus is attacking a cell. Alright, then what happens is the virus is going to put its genome inside there. Correct? Virus puts its genome inside the cell. And in the meanwhile, this cell is going to start to produce antiviral proteins. The cell will produce antiviral proteins. This cell is affected. So this is the host cell. This is the host cell and the host cell will die. The host cell will die. But what happens is these antiviral proteins, okay, they will go and they will enter into the neighboring cells. They will enter into the neighboring cells, and when they enter into the neighboring cells, and if the virus tries to go here, then what happens? It will not allow the viral replication. It will not allow the viral replication. So, what is this called as? It is interfering. It is interfering with the work of virus. Okay, that's why you will call it as interferon. That's why you will call it as interferon. So, interferon basically are antivirals. Okay, they are antivirals. So, you know now what is antibacterial? Lysozymes. What are antivirals? Interferons. Is this clear, everyone? Clear, class? So, immunity, we just discussed all about the innate immunity. Okay, just a second. Alright, okay. Now, let's come to the next type of immunity, and that is acquired immunity. Now, this innate immunity, you tell me one thing. Your WBCs are working. Okay, your skin is working. Okay, your mucous membrane is working. HCl is working. Are they going to show you all their drama? Are they going to sit and tell you, show you drama that, oh, HCl will come and tell you, I will only work against the bacteria which are in a particular type of Chinese food. I will not work against bacteria which are in your Indian food. It doesn't do that, no? Is it specific that HCl says that I will only work on these bacteria, I will only work on these germs? No. Your skin is protecting you from everything outside. Your skin doesn't say, I will let that dust come inside and I will not let the dust over here come inside. So, basically we can say that innate immunity is absolutely non-specific. It is non-specific. Okay, so it can work on everything. Alright, but when we talk about acquired immunity, this is the immunity which is specific. Okay, do you remember you've done enzymes? Yes, everyone, do you remember you've done enzymes? And do you remember enzymes also had that it is only going to work on a particular specific substrate? Same thing here. Same thing here. There is a type of immunity which is ready to fight against everyone. Okay, but then there is that type of immunity which is only going to help only certain people. Right? Right? So imagine this. Government is there to help everybody out. Government is not seeing whether you're rich or whether you're poor. This is how ideally it should be. So, but when you talk about a private person, a private area, okay, they are going to be very selective on who they're going to help and who they're not going to help. Alright, so acquired immunity is the one which is very specific. It's the one which is selective. Acquired immunity, if you have some kind of whatever antibodies being produced, all antibodies will not work on all antigens. They are very specific. Clear? Alright, so talking about acquired immunity. It is characterized, most important character of acquired immunity is memory. It is memory. Okay, memory in the sense that whenever our body is exposed to a particular pathogen, okay, a particular pathogen. Let's say this pathogen is, we are considering it to be chickenpox. Chickenpox. Okay. Now, when chickenpox enters in, or when that virus of chickenpox, when it enters into the body for the very first time, obviously your body will start a response. But that response is going to be slow. It's going to be of a very low intensity. This is what we call as the primary response, which is of a low intensity. Okay. Now, this primary response, as it is, as your body is responding, okay, you are going to be suffering from chickenpox. Now you have monkeypox. I've heard about that. You will be suffering from chickenpox. But at the very same time, your body is making antibodies. So these Y-shaped structures you're seeing here, these are the antibodies being made. And eventually, as these antibodies are being made, chickenpox virus will go out of the body and you will be disease free. But then, what happens? But then, in the next encounter with the same chickenpox virus, let's say after a couple of years, the same virus comes into the body. Then your body will now this time give off a secondary response. And that secondary response is also called as an anamnestic. Okay, have you heard of the word amnesia? Have you all heard of the word amnesia? Amnesia means what? What does amnesia mean? Forgetting something. Bhul gaye. है ना? You forgot something. You forgot. So, secondary response is anamnestic. Anamnestic means it did not forget it. It remembered it. And because it remembered it. Why? Because of the memory cells. Because of the memory cells, it was able to remember it. And then, it is going to give off a secondary response which is highly intensified. So what happens is the body has a memory of the first encounter. So the second time chickenpox comes, most of the times you don't even realize it, you don't even suffer from it, and your antibodies are already going to be destroying it. Clear? So because your body is able to remember it, it is called as an anamnestic response. Alright, so both these primary and the secondary responses are carried out with the help of two cells, two basic WBCs. They are the T lymphocytes and the B lymphocytes. These are the two main cells required for that. Clear? Now, we come next to a topic called as the types of acquired immunity. Types of acquired immunity. What are the different types of acquired immunity? First, is my screen visible to everyone? Is the screen visible to everyone? Can you all let me know? Is the screen visible clearly? Yes? Yes. Okay, fine. So types of acquired immunity. Now, acquired one is the one which is specific, and in there the very first type you have is the active immunity. Active is also called as adaptive. Now here what is the main thing? Active immunity means your body is active. Your body is going to start producing its own antibodies. So this is where the body makes its own antibodies. Okay, and we see that after the antibodies are made, resistance will be developed. Okay, the very first thing here we see is there is one acquired active immunity which is natural. Means it is naturally present in your body for that to happen. Okay, otherwise there is something that is artificially done. Now you tell me, when chickenpox enters into a child's body, did we put that virus into his body? Did the child call that virus ke bhai aja come and infect me, I feel like staying home for 5 days? Does that happen ever? No. So naturally the chickenpox virus or the measles virus entered into that child's body, and when it naturally entered, okay, that's why the child has created its own antibodies. Now for making antibodies, obviously it's going to be taking some energy. So that's why we're calling it as active immunity, and it's doing it on its own. Chickenpox came on its own, so that's why it's called as natural. So natural acquired active immunity. Similarly, there's going to be an active immunity. Okay, means the body is preparing its own antibodies, but now this is artificial. Tell me, how many of you are scared of taking vaccines? कितने लोगों को डर लगता है? How many here are scared? You go to the doctor and you tell him, where are you gonna poke me? And then you're like hoping for that doctor to tell you, oh, we'll give it in your arm. And then the doctor comes and says, no beta, turn around and sleep. No beta, turn around and lie down. And you're like, oh no. You're not scared. The worst thing that the doctor can tell you is, no, you lie down, you turn around and lie down, and I will give you your vaccine shot. First of all, we're scared of needles. And on top of that, all that embarrassment that you feel, bum injection. On top of that, all that embarrassment that you feel. So, this is what vaccines that I'm talking about. And this is what is artificially put into the body. Okay, vaccines, they stimulate the formation of antibodies. What are vaccines made up of? They are made up of the pathogen only. But the pathogen is just made weak, right? A weak pathogen put into the body so that it doesn't make the symptoms, but the pathogen is going in. So what will your body do? Your body will see the pathogen and your body will start producing antibodies. बहुत scary है vaccine. Are all of you vaccinated? Double? Everyone here vaccinated? I hope so. So, common vaccines which is a part of our immunization schedule: BCG vaccine and polio vaccine. Polio vaccine, though, you don't even need to lie down for that. Directly open your mouth. Tuk tuk. दो बूंद जिंदगी के. Nowadays तो उसके ads भी नहीं आता. Previously you used to have ads of दो बूंद जिंदगी के. Alright. So, what was active immunity, children? Tell me. What was active immunity? Active immunity is when the body makes its own antibodies. When the body makes its own antibodies, we will call it as active immunity, right? But then, what about passive immunity? What about passive immunity? When we see passive immunity, the body will not be making its own antibodies. So I mean that ready-made antibodies are given by any external source. Ready-made antibodies are received by the body. Alright. So in this passive also, we will see that there is a natural and there is an artificial. Alright. Natural, passive. So a natural way that you will be getting ready-made antibodies. Who is going to give you this much of lad pyar? Who will give you this much of lad pyar? Only one person, and that's your mom. Or koi nahi dega. Nobody else is gonna pamper you this much than how much your mom pampers you. Yes. So this is the one present. This is the one present before birth also, and for a short term after birth also. Before birth, the antibodies are going to be going through the placenta from maternal to fetus. Antibodies are crossing placenta, going from mama to baby. After birth also, okay, through breast milk, that is colostrum. It is rich in immunoglobulin A, and that will be passed on to the baby, right? Colostrum. But this is only and only until the mother is breastfeeding. After that, the antibodies will not go from mama to baby. And the antibodies which are ready-made to you now, they are not living for a long time. The antibodies which you make yourself, okay, tell me one thing. If at all, somebody is there who's just got a new job and is working very hard for their salary, they are the ones who are going to understand how to save their money. Okay, the ones who make money in black, I don't want to name them. The ones who make money like, anything and they're getting it for free. What are they going to do? They will just waste their money. After that, lad pyar khatam. No, after that, lad pyar is more, just in different ways. So, this immunity, where ready-made antibodies are given, okay, uski to value hum karenge nahi. So, that's not going to stay permanent. So, this is going to be short-lived. This is going to be short-lived. Exactly, Shreya. That's why whenever you get notes, even if you get my notes, you're not supposed to just sit and study them. You're supposed to actually note them down in your own handwriting. Not with different colored pens. It's fine. Okay. Now, artificial acquired passive immunity. What is this? Artificial and passive. Passive means what? Ready-made antibodies are given. But artificial means what? We are introducing it. And this is seen as maybe when we're talking about rabies vaccine. Okay. When do you take rabies vaccine? Do you wake up one day and say, oh, you know what? I really sense that today when I'm going to walk to college now, I really think that that dog that's there now at the end of the street, it's going to bite me today. So what I'll do is I'll go first to the clinic. Let me get myself a rabies vaccine and then I'll go to college. Do you do that? Do you do that? We don't do that. Hai na? The minute the dog bites us, we will first do a lot of drama on the road. We will then call our friend, okay, because if we call our mom, she's gonna yell at us even more. So we'll call our friend कि भाई कुत्ता ने काट लिया है. So चलो take me to the doctor. Let's do something about it. है ना? So basically, that is when you're gonna go to the doctor will give you a vaccine. You'll be like, अरे एक तो that dog bit me. Now you're giving me an injection also. मतलब मैं मर जाऊँ क्या? What do I do? What am I supposed to do? So what is that vaccine all about? It's antibodies. Because there is a chance that maybe rabies might develop in the body. And we don't want to take that chance. So we are giving you antibodies that if at all rabies antigen is there inside, the antibodies will destroy it. So that vaccine that you get, okay, that choti bachchi hogi, that vaccine that you get is going to be consisting of antibodies. Okay. And those antibodies, where have they been prepared? Tell me, will you go to any laboratory and tell them, chalo, give me rabies virus, I will be ready, my body will make antibodies and then you can make vaccines out of it. Koi hai yahan pe? Is there anyone here who is ready to do that? Tell me. Anyone here ready to do that? Donate themselves to science? Anyone here? No, ma'am, we'll be the scientist who's taking other people's. Hai na? Nobody's gonna be ready for that. So what do we use? We will use hyper-immunized horses. Gurnur will go, me not. Hyper-immunized horses. These horses are these are the horses which are going to have a very strong immune system. So if you put rabies virus in their body, they will not suffer from rabies, but they will make the antibodies. And those antibodies are taken from their serum and made vaccines out of it. Yes, Uday is saying yes, me ma'am. Transgenic animals. But the horse will not suffer from rabies. So you cannot say it as a transgenic animal. We're not inserting the gene. We're not playing with its gene. Okay? So everyone, this is clear. We went through active immunity where there is natural and there is artificial. Similarly, we went through passive immunity where ready-made antibodies are given. And here also there is natural and there is artificial. Correct? And one thing, this is going to be short-lived. Clear? Clear everyone? Are you all able to see my screen? Have you kept your device on full screen? Alright, perfect. Lovely. Okay. Now we come to the cells of the immune system. Cells of immune system. We basically want to talk about right now in your syllabus lymphocytes. Okay, we want to talk about the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes, these are nothing but WBCs. And if they are WBCs, tell me, where are they going to be made? all your blood cells are going to be generated in the red bone marrow. We will study malaria, don't worry. Stay with me, we will be doing malaria also, don't worry. Yes, in the red bone marrow. They're not generated in blood, they are generated in red bone marrow. Okay, then from the bone marrow, either they will stay in the bone marrow or they will go to thymus gland for developing, for maturing. Okay, hi Rutuja, no problem. So either they are staying in the bone marrow or they will go to thymus gland. The ones which stay in the bone marrow are B lymphocytes. They develop into B lymphocytes. The ones which go to the thymus gland are going to be developing into T lymphocytes, also called as T cells. T lymphocytes or T cells. Okay. Now, we see here the T lymphocytes. These are basically what is it the way that they are acting, what is their mode of action? Let's talk about that. First one, T lymphocytes. Why are they called as T lymphocytes? Because they are going to be maturing in thymus gland. So here is a T lymphocyte. When it is exposed to an antigen, okay, you know what we will call this as? When you expose it to an antigen, you may call it as sensitization. You may call it as sensitization. Okay. Whenever you are going to expose it to an antigen, you may call it as sensitization. So, when a T lymphocyte is sensitized, it will start to produce 4 types of clones. Okay, it will produce 4 types of clones. Which are those clones? First, helper T cell. Okay, so when a T lymphocyte comes in front of an antigen, kya karega wo? What is it gonna do? It's going to produce clones, and those clones are 1, helper T cells. Okay, how do they work? They are only going to help. They will only help. Will they destroy? No. They will only help in destroying. How will they help? First, they will say, Arey, this many T cells only, we need more. Our army needs to be bigger. So they will proliferate more T cells. Second, they will say, the helper T cells will think, why should we only do the work? Why should the T cell only do the work? Chalo, call the B cells. So, stimulate B cells. And third, stimulate macrophages. Can someone tell me what will macrophage do over here? Can someone tell me what will macrophage do over here? Macrophage will phagocytose. It will produce phagocytosis. So whatever the antigen is, eventually it will be killed. It will be killed. Perfect. Next is the killer cells. Killer cells are also called as cytotoxic cells. Why are they called as cytotoxic cells? Look at how they are working. Okay. Here is your T lymphocyte. Here is the cell. Okay. Here is that cell. So your T lymphocyte, the clone, okay, the killer T cell. That killer T cell is going to bind to this over here is the infected. This is the infected cell. This one. The infected cell, it will bind to it. And when it binds to it, it will start producing holes. Can you see these pores? So it has started to produce pores in the infected cell. And what will it do in the pores? It will start releasing some toxin. Toxins are released into these pores. So what happens? The cell dies. This infected cell will ultimately die, and that leads to cell death. And because it's releasing toxins, we may also call it as cytotoxic T cell. Is this clear? क्या बात है, Bangladesh से लोग आ रहे, how nice. People are coming from Bangladesh, how nice. Okay, so cytotoxic T cell. Alright, so what's happening with killer T cells? Look here. Here is your killer T cell. When the killer T cell comes in front of an infected cell, so this cell is already gone. Some sort of virus, some bacteria, something has gone and infected it. The killer T cell will start producing pores inside it. It will produce pores. And when it produces pores, there are holes there, and then the cell will put in toxins. So once the toxin goes inside the cell, it will completely be destroyed. That's why it's called as cytotoxic T cell or killer T cell. Clear? Perfect. Gurnur. Then, so T lymphocytes, first is helper T cell, the 4 types of clones. First is helper, second is killer cell, third cell, suppressor. This is very important. Pay attention, important for your MCQs. Okay, which will produce toxins? The killer T cells. The killer T cell will produce the toxins. Toxin will go and kill the infected cell. Okay, now suppressor T cells. These are the cells which make sure that your immune system does not fight against your own body cells. है ना? WBC is known to kill. But then, does it ever happen that WBC is killing your own body cells? No, thankfully. Because we've got suppressor T cells. What are they gonna do? They are the ones which will suppress entire immune system. Okay? So that your WBCs don't kill your stomach cells. So that your WBCs don't kill your brain cells. But sometimes we need to take care of that they're actually not being destroyed, right? Because the way some of us think, the way some of us are not studying properly, I doubt some of our WBCs are actually destroying our power of reasoning. So, the suppressor T cells suppress the entire immune system, and that too against attacking our own body cells. Okay, now this is to be considered for a very great aspect whenever considering tissue grafting or transplantation. Whenever you are considering about tissue grafting. Now tissue grafting, what will happen? You are spending a bomb and doing all that. है ना? All the organ transplant, tissue transplant, whatever transplant is being done, it's costing a lot of money. So what happens here? When we say tissue grafting or transplant, okay, this is a foreign substance entering into the body. What will your body do? Arey, this is not ours. Chalo maro. Chalo milke maro. Come everybody together and start attacking. But now little do they know that this person has spent lakhs of rupees to get this done. So what do we need to do? We need to give that patient immunosuppressants. We need to give it immunosuppressants so that the immune system can be suppressed. Then you know what will happen? Some of my children ask me. Now this is when the doubts start. Ma'am, but if immune system is suppressed, he will keep falling sick. He will keep getting cough and cold. It's okay, na? It's better to have a kidney. It's better to have one kidney instead of not having a cold. Okay? Kidney ke badle mein you cannot compare that it's okay, I won't have a kidney but I don't want to have a cough and cold. Alright, so basically you can't do that. Alright, so suppressor T cell, they suppress the entire immune system so that it doesn't attack our own body cells, right? And the patient has to be taking immunosuppressants their whole life. Now, whenever the body is able, why does this happen? Because your body is able to differentiate. Is that cell mine? Is that cell not mine? Okay. Now, if at all a kidney transplant is done and immunosuppressants are not given, then the graft will be rejected. All that paisa gaya pani mein. Why is this? Because of the response of your body. Which response? The cellular response. Which response? The cellular response. Everyone clear? Now, talking about memory cells. What are they going to do? These are the ones which are going to retain the memory for next encounter with the pathogen. It makes sure that the memory is whatever you're facing with today, the memory cells will take that into their system remember it, so that the next time the same thing comes into your body, it's completely eliminated. Alright, so kids, when we talk about the T lymphocytes, the 4 clones are helper cells, killer cells, suppressor cells and memory cells. Okay, did you see antibody anywhere? Tell me. Everything that we spoke about right now, did you see antibody anywhere? Anywhere have you heard of an antibody? Absolutely no antibodies. This is completely taken care of only by cells. So this is called as cell mediated immunity. Okay, cell mediated immunity. So your T lymphocytes are going to provide you with cell mediated immunity. Is that clear? T lymphocytes provide you with cell mediated immunity. So now let's talk about B lymphocytes. Hello Daksh. Now let's talk about B lymphocytes. B lymphocytes on sensitization, when it comes in front of an antigen, even this one will produce clones. And those clones are going to be of 2 types. One is plasma cell and the second is memory cell. Plasma cells are the ones which are going to produce antibodies. Okay. And where are these antibodies found? In your body, antibodies are there. Sabko pata hai. Everyone knows we've got antibodies. Where are they? They are found in your body fluids. And the body fluids, they can be called as humor. Okay, body fluids are called as humor. And that's why, because those antibodies are found in body fluids, this immunity can be called as humoral immunity. Is that clear, everyone? Because it's found in the body fluids, you may call it as humoral immunity. Alright, so that is plasma cells. Next, just like T lymphocytes, even this one is going to be producing clones of memory cells. And they will do what? Retain memory for the future. So whatever antibodies will be made, the memory cells will remember that. Is that clear? Whatever antibody will be made will be remembered. Perfect. Now kids, let's come to this important diagram from your NCERT textbook. Important diagram from your NCERT textbook, and that is of antibody. So we are coming to almost nearly completing immunity. There are couple of topics left. Let's see those. Antibody. First of all, you know that there are 2 light chains and 2 heavy chains. The 2 light chains, the 2 heavy chains are joined with disulfide bonds, right? So that's why antibodies can be written as H2L2, indicating 2 light chains, 2 heavy chains. Okay. Alright. How sweet, Sonam. Now, on this antibody, these are called as the arms and this is called as the stem. Okay. We have the arms and then you have the stem. But then there is a region in between. Okay. This part over here and that part is called as, hi Asta, that part is called as the hinge. That's what's called as the hinge. Okay. Hinge is the region which is holding the arms and the stem together. Now, when we talk about antibodies, they are specific. Okay. So even though if all the antibodies are Y-shaped, there is going to be one part of the antibody which is different for all antibodies. And that is why it will be called as the variable part. Okay. The remaining part is all going to be constant. So this part is the constant region. Okay, and the one on top, Mickey Mouse jaisa lag raha hai ab to. The one on top is called as the variable region. Okay, say hi to Mickey Mouse, everyone. Alright, so there is a variable and then there is a constant region. Now, when we talk about this region over here, the variable region, can you see, everyone, that there are two areas for this antigen to go and attach. Okay, that's why it is called as a divalent. Okay, also the part of the antigen, I'm talking about this part, the part of the antigen which is going to attach is called as epitope. Epitope is part of antigen, and the part of the antibody is called as paratope. Okay, part of the antibody is what we call as paratope. Clear everyone? What is epitope and what is paratope? Epitope, E. E for epitope, E is present in antigen, and paratope is present in antibody. Yes everyone? E for epitope, E present in antigen. Paratope, antibody. Alright, so here we go. Antigen in epitope, antibody on paratope. There are different types of antibodies we see here. One, IgA, IgM, IgE, IgG and IgD. Out of these, you need to remember IgA present in colostrum, IgE when we are talking about allergy. Okay, most important ones. Clear? Allergy. Perfect. Are you guys ready? Shall we go ahead? Are you guys ready? Shall we go ahead? Vaccination is something we already did discuss, but let's see how NCERT states it. What is vaccine? Vaccine is when, okay, vaccine is when, we call it as a vaccine when proteins, okay, of the pathogen or inactivated pathogen. Either the pathogen is going to be producing proteins, we take that protein, or we take the pathogen only, but we make it weak. Okay, if at all that pathogen is introduced into the body, means you take the polio, you don't want the child to suffer from polio. So what do? Take polio virus, make it weak. Okay, make it very weak and put it into the body. What will happen? Body will see, oh, polio virus has come, so it will start to produce antibodies. But it is weak. So will it produce polio? No. But your body will produce antibodies. Why? So that the next time, if real polio virus, strong polio virus does go, then your body is already prepared. Antibodies have already been made. Primary response is done. Antibodies are made. So the next time polio comes, your memory cells will start working and antibodies will quickly give an encounter. Okay, so also we see that memory B cells and T cells are generated that are going to recognize the pathogen quickly, so we can give a secondary response. Clear? मैम आप हिंदी में नहीं बोलते. मैं हिंदी में बोलने को तैयार हूँ, but this is an English channel, that's why I'm keeping it only English. Okay, crazy girl. We've got crazy girl over here. क्या बात है? Alright, now talking about tetanus, okay, immunization. If we talk about whenever someone is whenever the tetanus bacteria, okay, it enters into the body, then a quick immune response is required. Okay, that's why if you've seen that sometimes when a child gets hurt with some iron or something, grievous injury, you will generally see that the doctor gives them a TT shot. Okay, if it's a very young child, then it's not needed because it's part of their normal vaccines. But otherwise, TT vaccine is required. Okay, so we see here directly they are injecting in there already preformed antibodies. Tell me, if we're giving already made antibodies, what type of immunity is this? Is it active or is it passive? When ready-made antibodies are given, is it active or is it passive immunity? Is it active or is it passive immunity? Yes, it's going to be passive. It's going to be passive immunity. Absolutely, yes. It will be passive immunity. So, it is called as preformed antibodies are given, or you may call it as antitoxin. Okay, what is an antitoxin? Antitoxin is the preparation or the vaccine which contains antibodies to that toxin. Okay, so whenever we're talking about even rabies, even tetanus, these are the vaccines which we are giving after we have suffered from that. So those are vaccines which are basically containing antibodies. What are those vaccines called as? They are called as antitoxins. Okay, same goes with snake bites. Same goes with snake bites. What happens there? The injection contains preformed antibodies which are against snake venom. And this whole thing, as I told you, passive. Okay, passive immunization. It's there in your NCERT textbook. It's there in your NCERT textbook. Antivenom. Okay, so kids, how is immunity being covered? No problem. How is immunity being covered? Everything being cleared? Immunity, everything being cleared properly? Perfect. Okay, excellent. Immunization and vaccination are same. Vaccination is basically something that's given before, okay, and immunization is it is the same, but what we are talking about here was after. Okay, tetanus, snake bites were the ones we're talking about afterwards. Saksham, you're dieting. Oh my god, so much. Now, talking about allergies. Anyone here suffering from any allergies? You know, people who have allergies, the biggest problem that they have is finding out what are they allergic to. That is the biggest problem that they have. Because हमको नहीं पता, we don't know what we're allergic to. Yes. So, allergies. We see here, what is an allergy? Allergy is basically your body overreacting. है ना? Ever seen small girls? कभी कभी ना, these small girls, if you see around you ना, even if you go and hurt her a little bit ना, ऐसा थोड़ा सा भी, she'll start shouting, oh मुझे लगा. So that's basically, yeah, I know, Saksha, allergic to cashews. So basically these are exaggerated response of what? Of your immune system. Whoever is suffering from allergies, na, you've seen even in Hindi movies and in serials and everything, na, oh, she's allergic to mushroom. Oh, she's allergic to imli. Why did you put it in her soup? Now I know you want to do something. So it is basically when that person is suffering, what are the signs, what are the symptoms you see? There'll be sneezing, watery eyes, running nose. Also, it may be as serious as there might be difficulty in breathing. Okay. What happens here whenever an allergen, if it's dust, if you know that you are allergic to dust, then dust is an allergen. Okay, common allergens are mites, dust, pollen, animal dander, okay, the animal fur. The worst part is someone having a pet dog and they find out that they are allergic to dog fur. So this happens many times, okay, or maybe if they're not allergic previously, but then they start developing it. By that time the dog is a part of the family. So antibodies produced when a person is suffering are IgE. They are IgE. So for example, let's say somebody is having a lot of skin rashes or something. They go to the doctor. We don't understand what it is. So doctor says get a blood test done. And in that blood test, when they see that IgE antibodies are high, okay, that's when they understand, oh, that means that all of this is produced because of allergy. All of this is produced because of allergy. Okay, so this all occurs why? Whatever are the symptoms that we are facing here, it occurs because of release of histamine, release of serotonin. So histamine and serotonin are going to be released from mast cells. Okay, from mast cells. One more thing released from mast cells, can someone tell me? One more thing released from mast cells, can someone tell me? Did we forget heparin? But when we talk about allergy, the mast cell is going to be releasing histamine and serotonin. What is used as treatment? Immediately we can give injection of antihistamine or adrenaline or even steroid injections so that the allergy can be treated. Wow, Saksham. Okay, antihistamine, adrenaline and steroids. All of this is given. Perfect. Allergy is done. Next topic from your NCERT textbook is autoimmunity. What is autoimmunity? Autoimmunity means when either because of any genetic or unknown reason, if your body starts attacking its own cells, that will cause damage to the body. Okay, and that's what you call as an autoimmune disorder. Okay, it's called as an autoimmune disorder. There's something gone wrong with your memory based acquired immunity, because that is the acquired immunity which should help you distinguish, array, this is my own cell, I cannot kill it, but there's something wrong on here. That's why there's damage to the body. Clear? Is this clear, everyone? Now tell me, let's do immune system. Quickly, we'll finish with immune system and we'll take a 2-minute break. Okay? We'll quickly finish immune system and we'll take a 2-minute break. Yes, everyone? You guys tell me some examples of autoimmune diseases. Some examples of autoimmune diseases, even the ones which are there in your syllabus. Tell me some examples. Any examples, especially the ones which are there in your syllabus? Have you heard of rheumatoid arthritis? Rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis. Correct. That is one which is there in your syllabus. Correct. Then that is an arthritis. Yes. Then you can have even example like psoriasis. Psoriasis is also autoimmune disorder. Even in your thyroid gland. In your thyroid gland, there is a autoimmune disease of the thyroid gland. It's called as Hashimoto's thyroid. Have you heard of Hashimoto's? Myasthenia gravis. Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Rheumatoid arthritis. Graves disease. That's Hashimoto's only. Okay. Then even vitiligo. You know what vitiligo is? Persons who suffer from those white spots. Vitiligo. Okay. Steroids basically steroids are going to have side effects like that. Okay, side effects are going to steroids are basically producing side effects because people don't know how to take the steroids. They will take it like a crocin. Okay, fever hai, steroid low, and then it should go. It doesn't work that way. Steroids always have to be taken, the dose has to be gradually increased, and when you want to stop a steroid, the dose has to be gradually reduced. If it's not done in that tapering form, that's when the steroids are going to give side effects. Yes, vitiligo also. Okay. Now, when we talk about the immune system, what are the parts of your body comprising of immune system? Lymphoid organs. Okay. Tissues, cells of your body. Okay. The WBCs and antibodies. So, lymphoid organs, you have origin, and this is the place where the lymphocytes will originate also and they will proliferate also. So you've got primary lymphoid organs and you've got secondary lymphoid organs. Primary lymphoid organs are the bone marrow and the thymus. Bone marrow and thymus both are where the immature lymphocytes are going to mature. Lymphocytes are made always in bone marrow, but then they are going to develop or they are going to mature in the bone marrow or in thymus gland. And then the secondary lymphoid organs are the ones where mature lymphocytes, they have already been matured. You know that they are either maturing in red bone marrow or in the thymus. After they have matured, then where will they go? that will be a secondary lymphoid organ. Okay, so mature lymphocytes are going to migrate here. For example, the spleen, the lymph nodes, tonsils, Peyer's patches and appendix. These are examples of secondary lymphoid organs. No, there is no cure for autoimmune gout. Oh, हमारे क्लास में ऋतिक रोशन has come. Then 50% of lymphoid tissue, okay, 50% of it is found in the lining of all major tracts. Do you know that there are goblet cells in all the tracts of your body? You name the tract: reproductive tract, digestive tract, respiratory tract, urinary tract. All these tracts which are there internally are lined with mucus, goblet cells. Okay, so that is forming also malt. What is malt? Ma'am, it's present in Bonvita. No. MALT stands for mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. This is what we call as MALT. Clear? कौन lunch नहीं करके आया? Ankur is worried why has Shreya not had lunch. है ना अंकुर? Not you. तो फिर कौन सी श्रेया? Alright you guys. So now what next? What next? Let's come to the list of diseases. Okay, in diseases what I want to basically cover is that you should be knowing which are the diseases which are bacterial, which are the diseases that are viral. That's what I want you to be knowing. Okay, some questions from these topics. Shri, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, 2 days I am keeping sessions for how it rather sample papers. So since term 2 exam is coming, it's better that we see sample papers. Okay, how exactly you can expect your paper to be looking like, some kind of questions or whatever. Okay, sample papers will be doing. So bacterial diseases. 1. How will you remember this? Look here. My tuition teacher gives work using PPT on LCD. My tuition teacher gives work using PPT on LCD. So M for meningitis. Okay, I have also written here the name of the causative factor, Neisseria meningitis. Okay, or even caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae. Tuition, T for tetanus. Tetanus caused by Clostridium tetani. T teacher, tuberculosis. Mycobacterium tuberculosis. G, gonorrhea, Neisseria gonorrhea. If you remember, this is an STD, bacterial STD. W, whooping cough, also known as pertussis. PPT, pneumonia, plague and typhoid. Okay, pneumonia, plague and typhoid. LCD, leprosy, cholera, diphtheria. Why do you need this list? Rather than the causative factor, you need to know that meningitis, tetanus, tuberculosis, gonorrhea, whooping cough, okay, pneumonia, plague, typhoid, all of these, you need to know that it is a bacterial disease. You need to know it is a bacterial disease. Okay, if bacterial are done, let's go to viral. How will you remember viral? Harpic MMSCD. Okay, I know this is very famous all over the internet, but how is it remembered? Look here. Hepatitis, AIDS, rabies, polio. Okay, hepatitis, AIDS, rabies, polio, influenza, flu, chickenpox, mumps, measles, smallpox, chikungunya and dengue. All of these are caused by virus. Which are the causative viruses? Look over here. Hepatitis caused by hepatitis virus. AIDS caused by HIV. Okay. So I've given this list here. You can take a screenshot of this list. I've even mentioned the mode of transmission and even the symptoms. All you need to remember is the names of the disease. You need to know that all of these diseases are caused by virus. That's what you need to remember. Hello, Neha. Is this clear, everyone? इसमें भी ट्रिक चाहिए. The diseases are not mentioned in NCERT, yes, but these are diseases which might come as any time in an option. All right, so it is better that you know only that if the disease is coming in front of you, you should know whether it is caused by virus or whether it is caused by bacteria. This much is something that you need to know. Okay. All right. So, kids, shall we begin now with malaria? Shall we begin with malaria now? They've only given the names in NCERT, but then they expect you to know everything if they've given you the name. Naam diya hai na, so you should be knowing everything about it. That's what they think. Shall we? Take a water break. You want to take a break? Take a break. Harpic MMS CD. Hari Om Prajapati. It is just a short form to remember all the names of the bacterial of the viral diseases. Okay. Take a 2-minute break. All of you here are appearing for your term 2 exams. Everyone here appearing for term 2 exams? Or how many of you not from state board? Neat. Yash is from 11th. Kya baat hai? Term 2. So I hope all of you will also continue with our one shot when we are preparing for NEET. I've also included mock test in the coming month of June. Mock test will be there. We will also be discussing diagrams. We've got a lot planned up for you guys in the month of June. State board. Alright class, shall we begin? Everyone done with your water break? Everyone done with the water break, and let's continue. Okay, so now we start with malaria. Now we begin with malaria. Now, malaria, how nice. Now, malaria, causative factor. Come on, causative factor. Tell me quickly on the chat box. Causative factor. Plasmodium. How many of you were going to write mosquito? How many of you were going to write mosquito? Plasmodium. What are the different types of plasmodium? There is Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium malariae, and Plasmodium ovale. Okay. Where is malaria mostly found? Tropics. Okay, the areas which are generally you can say a warmer climate. Okay, like India. In India now, I'll tell you, even when I was doing my internship, anybody that comes with a fever, the first thing we ask him, we were in Maharashtra, right? And that too I was in a Pune college. So all the patients mostly were Maharashtrian. And anytime the patient comes with a fever, our first question, Thandi vaste ka? So, it is almost more than half of the times, if the patient is coming to you with fever, he will have malaria. And the most common symptom of malaria, sign and symptom of malaria, is fever with chills. Fever with chills, right? Right? And the most common type of plasmodium seen is Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium falciparum, yes, it is also called as malignant malaria, because it is the most dangerous type. Alright. Now, vomiting. Yes, vomiting will definitely be there, because if we see the signs and the symptoms, okay, if we see the signs and symptoms of malaria, you will see that there is fever with, are you able to see that? I'll use a darker pen. There is going to be fever with chills. Fever with chills. Then hepatomegaly. Okay. Then splenomegaly. Hepatomegaly, splenomegaly, because of these two, definitely the patient will suffer from nausea and vomiting. Okay, most important symptoms. Then, okay, falciparum, most dangerous. Very good. Alright, so what else? Headache. Okay, weakness. Alright, so let's see. When we talk about the most important part, the most difficult part is the life cycle. So everyone, I would like you to see the life cycle. I'm not sure whether if I turn it around, will you be able to see it or not. Let's see. Are you guys able to see this, or is it blocking the view? Okay, not bad. So, what happens initially? What happens? Let's see. Yes. So, we see here from the salivary gland, okay, sporozoites will enter into, means this is the salivary gland of what? Salivary gland of the mosquito, okay. Just a minute. Let me just save this page. Yes. So, the mosquito is there. Okay. Which mosquito? Female mosquito. Ladkiyan hi hai. It's the female mosquitoes only, unfortunately having to say this. Female mosquitoes are the ones which are going to cause malaria. Now, these female mosquitoes, not all of them, but the female Anopheles mosquito, if she has the sporozoites of the malarial parasite in her salivary gland, and if she is going to go and bite one person, when she bites the person, she will suck the blood to make sure that that blood does not clot in her proboscis. She will insert her saliva into your body, that person's body. The saliva is containing sporozoites of Plasmodium. So sporozoites now enter into that person's body. And when sporozoites enter, they are going to immediately target the liver. So can you see, everyone, how you see that the sporozoites have entered into the liver cell, which is the hepatocyte. In the hepatocyte, they will stay there for around 7 to 10 days. For 7 to 10 days, they will stay in the hepatocyte. Then, after 10 days, however much they were supposed to grow, the sporozoite the sporozoites have now grown, and they have grown to form merozoites. Okay, sporozoites have grown to form merozoites, and the merozoites will then rupture the liver cell. They will rupture the liver cell, as you can see here how the liver cell has been ruptured, and they are going to come out of the liver. Alright, when they come out of the liver, then they will enter into the blood, and in the blood they enter into the RBC. So here you have the merozoite entering into the RBC, and as soon as it enters into the RBC, it undergoes asexual reproduction. Okay, and when it undergoes asexual reproduction, the very first form is called as the ring form. Second is called as the trophozoite form. And after trophozoite form, remember it is undergoing asexual reproduction. So, one merozoite enters, but then by the time reproduction is done, there will be many more merozoites. Okay, so we see here all these merozoites have collected in the RBC. Finally, that RBC will rupture, and you call it as schizon, and all the merozoites are released into the plasma of the blood. Now, in this patient, he is already bit by the mosquito. All of these things are happening in the body. He must be suffering from fever right now. He's on the hospital bed. And now what? These merozoites, some will re-enter into new RBCs, and this cycle continues. It keeps growing. Because when that sporozoite is in the body, or when the pathogen is in the body, it wants to multiply. So it will try to attack as many RBCs as it can. Okay, and then these are going to then differentiate, and they will form gametocytes. These are gametocyte. They are not gamete. Since they are not gamete, they do not fuse. They will stay separate. They will stay as gametocyte. Okay, so these are the gametocytes seen in the blood. Are they going to fuse? Are the gametocytes going to fuse? No. So this person over here, this man over here, okay, this man over here is going to be suffering from fever. Okay, he's going to be having asexual reproduction going on in his RBCs, and also in his blood there will be gametocytes. Now, let's say that new mosquito comes and bites him. Okay, a new mosquito comes and bites him. Then what? Then that mosquito, okay, is going to take this blood into its digestive system. So the blood enters into the gut of the mosquito. What does the blood contain? Blood contains gametocytes, but they are inactive. What happens? Gametocytes enter into the mosquito's gut. Mosquito is an arthropod. So is it cold-blooded or warm-blooded? Arthropod is cold-blooded or warm-blooded? Tell me. Arthropod is cold-blooded or warm-blooded? Tell me. Very good, Shruti. Arthropods are cold-blooded. So what happens here? When it enters into the cold-blooded arthropod's gut, the gametocytes will become, or they will transform into the gametes. So here is the egg, female gamete, and here are the sperms, the male gamete. Egg and egg is the female gamete, sperms are the male gamete. As the gametes are formed, they will fuse and they will form zygote. This zygote, okay, what is this a zygote of? This is the zygote of Plasmodium. This is not mosquito zygote. This is the zygote of Plasmodium. And this zygote is absolutely movable. Because it is movable, we can call it as ookinete. Because it's movable, we can call it as ookinete. Okay, this ookinete inside the gut, it is not safe. Because so many enzymes, so much movements will happen inside the gut. So what does the ookinete do? However many ookinetes will be formed, they will penetrate the gut and they will go outside. Can you see all of these are ookinetes? All of these are ookinetes. They will go outside. and outside the gut there will be a covering on them. When they are covered, they are safe, they are secured, they are protected. So this whole structure is called as an oocyst. And in the oocyst, it will remain for around 10 days, and ultimately the oocyst ruptures. When this oocyst ruptures, the sporozoites will enter into the salivary gland of the mosquito and sit over there. And when the mosquito goes and bites another human, it will be transferred. Is this clear? Is this clear? Yes? Clear everyone? Life cycle of malaria, absolutely clear? Yes? So now I would like to come to the next disease, that is AIDS. Let's come to the next disease, that's AIDS. Okay? When we see AIDS, it is nothing but acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. What is a syndrome? Group of symptoms. Different symptoms put together is called as a syndrome. The first case of AIDS was reported in 1981. Okay, and AIDS by so far has killed more than 25 million people on this earth. Okay, it is caused by AIDS is a syndrome. It's caused by what? HIV virus, human immunodeficiency virus, and that is a retrovirus. Important for your MCQ. Important for MCQ, it is a retrovirus. Okay, how is AIDS transmitted? Either by sexual contact with infected person, transfusion of contaminated blood, okay, sharing of infected needles, maybe mostly by the intravenous drug users. One person will have one syringe with drugs and they will rotate it amongst all these people. Even if one of them has HIV, it's going to spread. Then even from infected mother to child through breast milk, through placenta or through breast milk. That's why women who are suffering from AIDS are not allowed to milk their young ones. So basically HIV is transmitted through body fluids. HIV is not transmitted by touch. Clear? By body fluids only. Now coming to the structure. If we see the structure here, these are inside, okay, single stranded RNA. Okay, then enzyme. Which is the enzyme present? Reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase enzyme. Okay, then covering that there is an inner protein coat. On top of that there is an outer protein coat. On top of that, this is a lipid membrane. This is a lipid membrane, and on this lipid membrane, these are glycoproteins. Glycoproteins on the lipid membrane. Is this clear? Is this clear, everyone? Okay. Now, how is the replication done? Very important diagram from your NCERT textbook. First of all, here you have is the retrovirus. Okay, this is the HIV virus. And then this what you have over here is the animal cell. Okay, over here this whole box that you're seeing here, this is the animal cell we're talking about, the eukaryotic cell. Okay, now here we see that the virus, okay, you know that it is having an RNA core. Inside is going to be RNA. That virus, when it infects a normal cell, this is your normal cell, okay, When it infects it, what happens? First of all, when it goes inside, the viral protein coat is removed. Okay, it is removed. And what goes inside? Only and only the viral RNA is introduced into the cell. Now, when the viral RNA is introduced, okay, you know that there is the enzyme present, reverse transcriptase. So that enzyme is going to work here. Enzyme. The enzyme works over here. And that enzyme, it is viral DNA. It converts the viral RNA into viral DNA. It converts the viral RNA to viral DNA because of reverse transcriptase enzyme. Okay. Then this now viral DNA will enter into the host genome. And the host will already have its own DNA. So the viral DNA enters too. And when the viral DNA enters, obviously there will be transcription. So RNA will be formed. But now that RNA that's formed has virus also inside it. So it's called as the viral RNA. So viral RNA has been produced, and the viral RNA is going to be producing new viruses which will then come out of the cell and they can infect other cells. Is this clear? Is this clear? This is transcription happening here. Clear, everyone? This diagram completely clear? Okay. Now we see over here that there is a time lag between infection and appearance of AIDS symptoms. Okay. So if at all HIV enters into the body, there may be a chance that the symptoms are actually seen after 5 to 10 years. You generally call that as the window period. That is generally called as the window period. And it can be either from few months to even many years. During this window period, he will be tested positive. But if you see him, he will be observed as absolutely asymptomatic. Absolutely asymptomatic. Okay? Clear? Then, HIV replicates after entering into macrophages. That's why, kids, macrophages are called as factories of HIV. Macrophages are called as factories of HIV. Okay. Yeah. So, also we see, along with entering into the macrophages, HIV also enters into helper T cells. Okay, helper T cells called as TH, or they can also be called as CD4 cells. Okay, over there they replicate and they produce more progeny. What is the test used for detecting HIV? ELISA. ELISA test. What is ELISA test? Enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. Another name for ELISA. Clear? And now let's move towards cancer. Cancer, basically I'll tell you two important topics here. One is tumor. There is a benign tumor, there are malignant tumors. Benign stays confined at one location. Malignant one keeps growing. Malignant ones are the ones which show no contact inhibition. No contact inhibition. Benign tumors, they are the ones which are going to at some point of time stop. They will not spread to other parts of the body, so they cause little damage. But malignant tumor keeps growing. They invade the surrounding tissue and they can spread to neighboring tissue, and that's what's called as metastasis. Malignant tumor can also be called as a neoplastic tumor. Neoplastic means cancer, malignant cancer. Okay. Carcinogenesis, if you see, how is cancer caused? How is it that a normal cell is converted into a neoplastic cell? Whatever is responsible will be called as a carcinogen. Carcinogens are ionizing radiations, non-ionizing radiations. Okay, ionizing radiations like X-rays, gamma rays. Non-ionizing radiations like UV rays. Okay, like UV rays. So these are the ones which are able to cause DNA damage, and that would be leading to malignancy, that is cancer. Chemicals like tobacco smoke. Tobacco has nicotine. Nicotine is carcinogen. Okay, it is able to produce cancer. Then virus like oncogenic viruses. Oncogenic viruses have got viral oncogenes. What are these oncogenes? In your cells, in every cell, there is an inactive cancer cell. Okay, or inactive cancer gene. Okay, these are called as proto-oncogenes. Proto because they are inactive. When an oncogene, viral oncogene, comes in contact with this, it will make it activated. So there is oncogenic transformation, and that's what will give rise to the proto-oncogene becoming an oncogene, and it will become cancerous. Is that clear? It's going to become cancerous then. Alright. And now I would like to take up the final topic of, final topic of drugs. Let me just find that. Here's drugs. I've given you here, let us see, there are tables here that I have made. Okay. This is the name of the drug, the source where it comes from, where does it act on the body, and examples of it. We have opioids, we have cannabinoids, and we have Coca Alkaloids. Opioids, cannabinoids, and Coca Alkaloids. Opioids, what is the source? Latex of poppy plant. For example, Papaver somniferum. Okay, or poppy plant is called as Papaver somniferum. Where does it work? Central nervous system and digestive system. But what does it do? It acts as a depressant. So whatever your body functionings are, so basically these are going to be taken by those people who have very high blood pressure, lot of tension, lot of stress. They want to calm down their body. They go for these kind of drugs because it is behaving as a depressant. It will slow down the body functions. And how is it taken in? By snorting. What is snorting? Taking through the nose. Okay, it's taken in by snorting and by injections. Example here, heroin, also called as smack. Important for your NEET. Important point for NEET is heroin is chemically called as diacetyl morphine. Okay, it is white, odorless, bitter, and crystalline. Alright, that's opioids. Coming next to cannabinoids. So opioid example, heroin. Cannabinoids come from cannabis sativa. Okay, it is a stimulant. So these are going to be taken by those people who are suffering from things like depression. They are very sad. They will take these. Okay, example here, marijuana, hashish, ganja, charas. Either they will inhale it or they will take it orally. Clear? And finally, we come to Coca Alkaloids. These are obtained from coca plant. Okay, Erythroxylum coca. Also, this is the one which is abused by sports persons. Alright, it has a stimulating action on the CNS. It produces a sense of euphoria. What is euphoria? What is euphoria? Ever seen a drunkard? Beode ko dekha hai kabhi? Anytime. Is high. I am the king of the world. Mumbai ka badshah kaun? I am the king of the world. That's euphoria. That's euphoria. Okay. So, cocaine is the example here, commonly called as coke or crack. It is generally snorted for taking it in. If too much is taken, it can cause hallucinations. If too much is taken in, it can cause hallucinations. Clear? Alright. Also, there are barbiturates, amphetamines, and benzodiazepines. These are misused. Okay. Normally, these are the drugs which are used to treat insomnia and depression. Okay. But they are misused as drugs. Morphine. Also, it is basically used as a sedative and also as a painkiller post, after operations. Okay, but it is misused as a drug. Alright, clear everyone? Everyone clear? So we have completed human health and disease for today. All of you who are my NEET aspirants in the next coming 50 days that you are having, which are very important, very crucial. It is important that you take care of each and every day, okay, and you make sure that whatever your end moment studies are, you are revising each and every topic of your whole syllabus. And there is no other better or smarter way than to take up a crash course exactly at this time, so that you can be guided how to handle the next 50 days in the smartest way possible to approach your NEET exams. In this crash course offered by Vedantu, okay, there are 120 recorded sessions for you, 30 for each subject. But although it is recorded, there will be live teachers there with you during the class, our class teachers, so that while watching the recordings, whatever doubts you're having, you can ask your class teacher then and there immediately and get it solved. Right? So this crash course is going to be including 10 part test and 10 full tests throughout this the duration of 50 days. You can improve all your concepts with the help of 90 assignments which are given to you after each and every session. Okay, so which are the teachers there for you? We've got Rahul Pandey sir, an amazing teacher for physics. All your physics concepts, formulas, derivations, everything absolutely clear, and he will be able to teach you the tips, the tricks which you need to know. What part of physics should you concentrate on? What part of physics, if it is hard, you should not be putting too much energy on right now. Immediately they will be able to help you out, the class teachers there too. Sudarshan sir for chemistry will give you wonderful advice how to handle the next 50 days properly. Bhumika ma'am for biology. And here are the schedules. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this. Physics schedule is given. Okay, the chemistry schedule, the botany schedule, and even the zoology schedule. Okay, if you see here, all the subjects, all the topics are covered for 11th and 12th also, right from animal kingdom all the way up to evolution. So everything is going to be covered, and all the basics, all the important topics especially will be covered. Not only taught, but also quizzes will be taken. Okay, there will be leaderboards, there will be hotspots, everything is there. So in this Vedantu crash course Lite, you see there is in-class interaction, there will be in-class doubt support with the help of our class teachers there. There will be quizzes, there will be hotspots, and there will be live polls. There will be milestones so that you understand where you have reached, how much you have covered. And at the end of every session, you will see that there is a leaderboard. So yes, all of these experiences are what makes Vedantu even better than any other crash course which is available in the market, which is not giving you a help of any live teacher with you during your class. Alright, the crash course is only and only for the next 50 days, only at 2700 for you. And remember, whenever your NEET exams are there, the recordings will be with you until then. Okay, if you're having any queries regarding the crash course, please feel free to WhatsApp your queries to this number. Take a screenshot of this. You can write in this paragraph, and whatever your query is, okay, you can just text it to them. Your query will be solved. So kids, don't forget, it's a great deal. In fact, it is the best way to approach the next 50 days for your NEET exam, because sometimes when you're sitting at home all alone, you do not know what to do, at what time. Whether you're sitting and whether you'll be able to cover the whole syllabus in the next 50 days or not is something you have a big question mark in your brain. So utilize this crash course in such a way that you will get an idea of how to approach the next 50 days. What are you supposed to do? And it's always easier when you have a mentor sitting, taking you through this chapter, doing the important parts of the chapter as required. Okay, so yes, the link for joining the crash course is given in the description box. please take look at that link, join it, open the link, and you can put in the coupon code SIPRO to get yourself a discount on this crash course. Okay, yeah, so crash course light 2022 just at rupees 2700 for all of you. Go ahead, see the link, join the link, put the code SIPRO for getting a good deal for yourself. All right, and yeah, thank you for this session, and tomorrow come with me at the very same time at 2:30. We will be having a sample paper test. If there are any changes in the timings, I will be letting you know on our Telegram channel. All right, bye bye everyone. I will see you tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow we'll be dealing with sample papers.